Okay, so today we are going to do a mechanical interior drawing. It's going to be based on what we did before. So you're going to have a vanishing point in the middle, okay? So just draw a little dot there. And we're going to start with a horizontal line at the bottom. And this has got to be parallel to the bottom edge of the paper. So there we have our horizontal. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a tile floor. Now it's really important before you start this drawing that you have the box drawing absolutely set, okay? That's going to be really important because if you have the box drawing, and anytime people have trouble with linear perspective, it's because they didn't get the box drawing. So this, it's going to be important that you understand that before you move on to this. So right now I'm marking off 2-inch intervals at the base. And I want to have 3 on this side and 3 on the other side. So we're going to have evenly spaced 2-inch wide along this horizontal line. And then from those points, we're going to draw lines to the vanishing point. So what ultimately this is going to be is a tile floor. But right now these are just orthogonal lines that I'm making to the vanishing point. So remember, just like with the box drawing, all angles are going to be going to the vanishing point. Okay, so you have something like this. All right. Now, the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have to figure out the width of our tiles, okay? And so what we do when we're sighting and measuring, if you measure an actual square tile, you would see that the width is greater than the depth. So a square, we know, is something like this, right? But we don't see that when we're seeing the squares receding in space. What we see is something like this. So here you can see that this distance is way more than this distance, right? This is called foreshortening. Okay? So, if this is 2 inches, and if we look at this, this distance is about half of that distance. So if we make this first one half of 2, that means we're going to measure straight up 1 inch, because 1 inch is half of 2 inches, and then we're straight across. So we're going to want to make sure that we're parallel. And that's the hardest thing about this drawing. Is making sure your lines are staying parallel. So coming like that, okay? So now we have our first row of tiles. Now tiles are going to get smaller as they go back in space, okay? So when we did the cross contours on the surface plane of the still life drawing, I just told you what my instructor told me when I was in drawing 1. Just make sure that each one is less than as you go back, and you'll be good. But I wanted to know then, as a student, how much less than? How do I know? Okay? And so what he said was the best thing to do is to actually just make sure that it's less than. He didn't want to tell me the answer to that. He didn't want to confuse me, I think. So what I found out later, though, is there is a way. There is a way to figure out how much less than. So I'm going to get my red pen. Still hear me right. I'm going to get my red pen to show you. From corner to corner here, I'm going to make a diagonal, okay? From corner to corner. You don't do this in pen, you just do this in pencil, but so you can see what's happening. And this is the only angle you make that is not going into the vanishing point, because this is a construction line. Every time this angle crosses the orthogonal line, that is going to be a horizontal. That will be a tile that's actually smaller than the one you drew before. And again, just make sure that you're maintaining the parallel edge. So you want to look at the edge of the paper. So you can see now this is starting to look like a tile floor. Okay, so you can see each tile is getting smaller as it goes back in space. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles wide, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles deep. So that means this thing is a square, okay? But what if I don't want my tile floor to stop here? What if I want to keep going? Well, if I want it to keep going, then I have to do what I did before again. So I could either do it from corner to corner here going back this way, or corner to corner here going that way. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll have it go back one more set. This is important to know how to do because this comes up a lot when we're drawing on site. So you might not have tiles on the floor, but you may have them on the ceiling, so it works just the same, okay? So here you can see my tile floor going back now. All right, so now we're going to make the wall of the building, or the room, so we're going to come straight up from this corner, a vertical line, parallel to the side of the paper. What we're going to be doing is creating a virtual space. So now we have a line. We're going to be putting tiles on the wall too. So what we want to do, because this is starting at the same edge here, the same plane as this. Imagine this is describing a plane of glass. It's perpendicular to the picture plane. So if this was 2 inches wide, that means we're going to have to measure up 2-inch intervals, okay?